Greetings, Pokemon fans, and welcome back to Playthough Wrath. My name is JD, and today we're doing a prediction video for an optimized playthrough of Pokemon Crystal using Ariados. Ariados is known as the long legs Pokemon. Before I dive into the meat and potatoes of this Pokemon, make sure you like, make sure you comment, and make sure you subscribe. Liking and commenting gets it out to more people, gets the algorithm going. For people who have similar interests like you, like Pokemon videos, it gets it out to them. And then subscribing means you're willing to come back and watch more videos. And hitting that notification bell. I'll post 3 times a week. Monday is a prediction video where I talk about all the stats and break down the Pokemon and what it can and cannot do and how we're going to optimize it, or if it's not optimization, just how we're going to play through and what we think is going to happen. And on Wednesday, we were doing a series in Pokemon Blue where we figure out who the best fully evolved of every type is, and right now we're playing through the fighting type. Friday is the playthrough that we were predicting on Monday. So let's dive into this Pokemon. Today we're working on Ariados. Ariados is a unique Pokemon. It's supposed to be a spider. Now spiders have 8 legs. This thing only has 4. However, I think the spirit of this Pokemon is that it is some form of arachnid / spider. And on the left is what it normally looks like. On the right is its shiny. And I will not rip on Game Freak too much because this shiny actually makes sense and it looks good. I think the light blue offset in the pink looks really nice. I appreciate that. And this is one of the first pink shinies that I think makes sense. So good job, Game Freak. You're not going to get too much of a rip on from me. Let's look at what happened in the previous playthrough. So we beat the Elite Four in 1 hour, 58 minutes, and 12 seconds. Not a great time, but we did do it a little bit faster than Ladian. And that was kind of what we were trying to do, is make sure which was a better bug Pokemon. And then we beat Red in 2 hours and 43 minutes and 2 seconds. That was significantly faster than Ladian. Now, some really bad things about this Pokemon. We're going to get into that, but there were some really bad things about this Pokemon. So optimizing that and winning is going to be very tricky and very difficult, because no matter what we do, there's not really a lot of things to solve the major problem with this Pokemon. So let's dive into the stats and ins and outs of this Pokemon. So Ariados, like I said, is a bug poison Pokemon. It's Generation 2, so it was the first game it was introduced in. It evolves from Spinarak at level 22. We don't have to worry about that because we're playing fully evolved. And we're, like I said, we're bug poison. We are actually in the fast level up rate, which means we get levels pretty quickly. So that's actually kind of nice. And we'll move on to the stats. Stats of this Pokemon are 70 HP, attack is 90, defense is 70, special attack is 60, special defense is 60, and speed is 40. Now speed is the big problem with this Pokemon. It's 390 base stat total for a fully evolved Pokemon. It's only at 390. It's not great. And as we scroll down and look at our weaknesses, we're going to see a couple of them on here. Flying, Rock, Fire, and Psychic. So those are our weaknesses, and Flying is the first gym. Second gym, we're neutral. We're neutral a couple things, but eventually Rock, Fire, and Psychic. Fire is the big one. The big one's going to get us. And then we're resisted to Fighting, Poison, Bug, Grass, and Fairy type. We don't have to deal with Fairy type in Generation 2. Didn't exist yet. A lot of weaknesses, decent amount of resistances. That's not too bad. Let's go ahead and dive into the moveset for this Pokemon. We will start out with Poison Sting, String Shot, Scary Face, and Constrict. Now, Scary Face is not going to be used at all. Constrict barely be used. String Shot not going to be used at all. Actually, now I think of it, it wouldn't be a bad thing to do to counter our slowness. But none of the things are really going to be used. They're not really that effective. Nightshade will be a decent move you learn at level 17. Now don't forget we have an egg move, so we're not going to be stuck with just those moves. We've got an egg move that's going to help facilitate a faster start to this game. Leech Life, 20 power, 100% accurate. It's not too bad whenever you actually start getting a little bit of boost from Stab, and when we beat Bugsy's gym, we get a little bit of a boost. But it's not too bad, but it does replenish health. That's not too bad. Fury Swipes, not going to use. Spiderweb, Screech, and Agility and Psychic will definitely be used with this Pokemon. It's kind of necessary. You have to have it. Agility, this is the first Pokemon I've ever seen that's really slow that actually gets access to Agility. So let's scroll down and look at the team moveset, see what's going to work with this Pokemon. Curse and Toxic are not relevant at all. We can't use them. Hidden Power. Now in the original playthrough, we used Hidden Power Ice, and we're going to use Hidden Power Ice in this one. There's like a contemplation to use Hidden Power Rock, but it still doesn't solve a problem that we have, which is not outspeeding. So a lot of things late in the game, especially against Red in the first playthrough, we did not outspeed. So that's why we had to get to level 88 to beat Red, is because we didn't outspeed. We had to get to level 88 to outspeed the Charizard. So maybe with Agility this time we won't actually need to do that. But this Pokemon just doesn't, it lacks a lot of things, and I'll get into more details on that here in a little bit. So Hidden Power will be Ice. It counters, basically makes one gym and one Elite Four obsolete. Sunny Day could be used with Solar Beam, but we're probably not going to use it. It takes up 2 move slots to make this move effective. That leaves us very limited. Snore, Hyper Beam, Protect, not going to use Giga Drain. We could definitely use this to replenish some health. in a couple battles, but mainly against blue whenever we face Blastoise. Endure, Frustration, Solar Beam, Return. Return will actually be used. We have a pretty good physical attack stat, so Return will be 102 when it's fully maxed out. You can get a boost from the Pink Bow, and you can also get a boost from Whitney's Gym. So it can get up there, get up in the 120s. And with a good physical attack, it's a very useful move. Dig will definitely be used. Dig will counter a couple things. It'll counter Whitney and her ability to stack on rollout. And we are a bug type, so we're going to be, I think we might actually be, no, we're only 2 times a week. We're not 4 times a week, but we're 2 times a week to ground moves. So rollout can stack, Dig can break that combo, and also Dig can make Morty's Gym pretty obsolete. So Dig's definitely useful, and for a decent amount of time in the game. Psychic's useful. I wish we had this a lot sooner, but Psychic will be useful when we can get access to it. Double Team Swagger, Sleep Talk, not going to use Sludge Bomb. We're going to actually reroute the entire game that we would usually do just to get Sludge Bomb earlier. And what's kind of dumb is, yeah, it's a very powerful move, but you got to go beat the Elite Four, or not the Elite Four, the Team Rocket just to get it. And Team Rocket's kind of weird in this game, but there's like forced engagement. You know, if you've seen many of my videos, you know my complaints about Team Rocket in this generation. Rest will probably be used. I think we're going to have to use that to recover when we face Red. Attract, Thief, and Flash. So those are our moves. It's not a broad move. It's good enough to get by, and it's good enough to have coverage. But the problem is there's not like any great, amazing stab moves with this move other than Sludge Bomb. But like Bug, we can't even take advantage of the Bug type with this Pokemon. So let's go down and look at the breeding moves of this Pokemon. So the breeding moves of this Pokemon are not very elaborate, but there are some good enough that is going to definitely be an option. So Baton Pass and Disable, completely unusable in a playthrough like this. So it gives access to Psybeam, Pursuit, and Sonic Boom. Now Sonic Boom wouldn't be horrible. It does provide, I don't think it does 20 power anymore. I think it does 20 damage exactly every time. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's changed in Generation 2. But that could be the case. Pursuit, 40 base power, Dark move. It's not as powerful as Psybeam, so Psybeam will be used for this Pokemon. Psybeam seems to be the ultimate move for a lot of Pokemon are doing optimized playthroughs. It was the move for Ladian. It's a move for this one. I was doing some research. It's probably going to be in the move for another Pokemon as well going forward. And then there's no real tutoring moves or prior evolution moves. Growth wouldn't be a horrible move, but I think it's just going to do too much. So, and I did say I wanted to like pretty much make this the best version ever. And I think if I were to do this again, I'll initiate Growth and see how much that helps this Pokemon. But we figured it out. It's going to be Psybeam. So let's go and dive back into the original slide, and we'll talk about what's going to happen in this playthrough. I think the Elite Four we will definitely beat in a reasonable time. A reasonable time between about an hour and 20 minutes. I think we're going to save a lot of time off that, because having the lack of speed is not going to hurt us as much against the Elite Four as it's going to hurt us against Red. Because no one in the Elite Four, except for like one Pokemon, can really has like a super effective, or 2 Pokemon, I'm sorry. So you have Rock Slide from Machamp, super effective against us. Then you have Flamethrower from Houndoom. There's really the only, I'm sorry, and Charizard, but I think Charizard will one-shot. Charizard seems to be Lance's Charizard's pretty frail compared to other Charizards for some reason. Maybe it's just because of the level he's at and what level we're at, I don't know. But no one really has a super effective move in the Elite Four. It's gonna one-shot us that we have to keep trying to RNG around. And with Red, that's gonna be a problem. Red, that was a huge. I went back and watched the original playthrough. That was a huge problem in that playthrough. Was not being able to get around and beat Charizard. And then on top of that, we really don't have great moves that are gonna one-shot everything he has. So we don't have a lot of type coverage. So like Dig is a decent move, but it has no effect. It's not gonna do anything against. Like Pikachu. Pikachu is way too powerful. It's only 60 base power. It is stab, I'll give it that. But we're not going to one-shot Pikachu with that. We're going to probably have to use like a return or something like that. And then you have a lot of problems. Charizard's a problem because he's going to one-shot us every time. And we don't have the ability to one-shot him unless we're at a higher level. And we don't outspeed him unless we're at a higher level. So there's just a lot of problems we're going to have. And this Pokemon does have the capacity to overcome them. It's just Red is going to be the biggest one. I watched that playthrough, and everything else in the game seemed pretty even keel. We had solutions to everything, and as I'm looking through this with the full evolved version, we have those same solutions. The problem is we don't have a solution for the one battle at the end that's going to cost us so much time. I guarantee it's going to cost us so much time just trying to figure it out and get the right RNG. It's a strictly an RNG, but there's no strategy there. Is wait and hope the RNG of the game goes in your favor, and that's pretty much the strategy you're going to have to implement when it comes to dealing with Red. Other than that, I think the other other stuff in this playthrough will go just fine. I think all the gyms we're not going to have a problem with. Not going to have any problem really with, what's her name? Jasmine's usually a big problem because of steel type. Nope, we got solutions to that. I got a solution to that across the board, and we're going to implement that solution. And the way we're going to reroute this, we're going to be really high level for the last 4 gyms, so we're going to have no problem against the last 4 gyms. So I don't really see a lot of struggles in the normal game. It's the Elite Four. They're going to have a few struggles, and then definitely against Red. So that's going to be a problem. And so Red, God, if we beat this in around 2 hours, I'll be happy. As long as we beat Lady in time, I'll be happy. But I just don't know if that's going to be it, because it's such an RNG battle. There's nothing we do to like overcome that. We can try to do what we can, but it's ultimately an RNG battle. And there's just too many things, and we're too frail, and we're not fast enough to solve a lot of those problems. But that's the video for Friday. You'll see what happens. You'll see the outcome. Make sure you tune in. On Wednesday, we got to play through Pokemon Crystal using Hitmonlee. I'm sorry, Pokemon Blue using Hitmonlee. It's the fully evolved. I mean, he's fully evolved already in Pokemon Blue. It's going to be fun, and we got a tier list we're making for that. So make sure you check that out. And that's it. We're done. And I want to thank you all for stopping in. Make sure you hit that like button, comment down below, and subscribe to this channel. Get videos all the time. And then, like I said, Wednesday is a Pokemon Blue video, and Friday is our Pokemon Crystal playthrough. So have a good one, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday.